Good evening and welcome to Nightly News on Television Maldives with me, Fatma Sara. President Abdul Yamin Abdul Qayyum has sent a message of congratulations to His Excellency Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, on his inauguration. In his message, President Yamin conveyed congratulations and good wishes on behalf of the government and the people of the Maldives on Trump's inauguration as the 45th President of the United States of America. The President said that Trump's election victory has once again confirmed the strength of America's democratic tradition, and at a moment when the global community faces issues of profound concern, it serves as a reminder of the enduring values which all true democracies share. In the message, the President warmly welcomed the start of Trump's administration and said the Maldives government looks forward to working closely with the administration over the years to come. It concluded by conveying the President Yamin's personal best wishes for President Trump's good health and well-being, as well as for the continued progress and prosperity of the people of the United States of America. Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Mohammed Asim has visited the Embassy of Maldives in Malaysia. During his interaction with the staff of the embassy, the minister noted with appreciation the work carried out by the embassy in strengthening bilateral relation between the two countries. He further noted that the easing of visa requirements for Maldivians in Malaysia clearly demonstrates the cordial relation between the two countries. He also inquired about the challenges faced by the staff in undertaking their daily functions and ways to improve the institutional capacity of the mission. Minister Asim further commended the efficient manner in which the staff at the Malaysian embassy delivered their service to the Maldivian community and expressed appreciation to various initiatives planned by the embassy to strengthen relationship between the Maldivian community and the embassy. During the visit to the embassy, Minister Asim also signed the visitors' book. Minister Asim is in Malaysia on an official visit to attend the OIC Extraordinary Session of Council of Foreign Ministers on the situation of Rohingya Muslims minority in Myanmar, which was held on 19 January 2017. Environment Minister Tariq Ibrahim appeals everyone to do their part in properly managing and disposing of waste. He made the appeal while kicking off a clean-up operation organized by Maldives Inland Revenue Authority, MIRA. The operation titled Hey Walla Safa is conducted in Male City. Speaking at the event, Minister Tariq noted that the government accords high priority to establish proper waste management mechanisms across the country. He urged citizens and government authorities to support Waste Management Corporation WAMCO's efforts to establish a sustainable and eco-friendly waste management mechanism. Over 1,200 people, including staff from government offices, state-owned companies, schools and colleges, are participating in the cleanup program. MIRA says the campaign aims to instill the habit of practicing environmentally friendly methods in disposing waste, as well as reminding citizens of their duty to keep roads and other public areas clean. Different areas of Male City were cleaned up during the one-day operation. Minister of Gender and Family launches its Ramvela campaign in Male region, which aims to increase participation in care and health of older persons. The campaign was officially launched by Minister of Gender and Family Zanisha Shahid Zaki. Minister Zanisha is visiting some islands of Kafutol to launch the campaign. Today she visited the Center for People with Disabilities in Guradu Island. Ramvela campaign aimed at increasing the participation of elderly persons within the family and community, enhance care and assistance provided to them, and improve their health and emotional well-being, was initially launched on August 14, 2016. According to the Gender Ministry, the campaign focuses on 3 thematic areas: participation, caring and well-being to promote issues related to elderly persons. It also includes awareness sessions for social workers, medical officers and youth. Housing Minister Dr. Mohammed Muiz visits Kurimbi and Norivaram of Hadal Atoll. He is visiting the atoll as a special envoy of President Yamin. According to the Housing Ministry, Dr. Muiz will oversee the ongoing development projects in the atoll and meet with members of local councils and officials from government offices. During the visit, Minister Moise met with council members of Kurimbi and Norivaram and inquired about the ongoing development projects and difficulties faced by residents of the islands. During the meetings, the minister shared the government's developmental plans with the council members of both islands. The minister is accompanied on the visit by the parliamentary group leader of Ruling Progressive Party of Maldives PPM, Ahmad Nihan Hussein Manik, and other parliament members. The government reveals plans to conduct a special program to raise public awareness on non-communicable diseases as the prevalence of NCDs continue to increase in the country. Health Minister Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim said it is important to increase awareness on NCDs among citizens, citing that NCDs are usually preventable through lifestyle changes and healthy habits. Health Minister Nazim said government's initiative to provide free medical checkups is also conducted as part of NCD prevention efforts. State Trading Organization STO says its new building on former Umar Shopping Arcade plot is expected to be opened next month. Managing Director of STO Ahmad Shahir said the first 3 floors of the 10-story building will be used for STO electronic showroom, which will be open within the next 2 months. He said the rest of the floors will be used as office space. Head of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, says one of the biggest risks to the global economy in 2017 was a race to the bottom on taxes, regulations and trade, in an indirect reference to the policy plans of the incoming US administration. She made the comments at a press conference at the World Economic Forum in Davos, which was looking at the global economic outlook. Here's more on this. Head of IMF Christine Lagarde said that protectionist policies from the new US administration of President Donald Trump will probably have a negative impact on the economy, overshadowing any positive gains from economic stimulus measures. Also at the conference was UK Finance Minister Philip Hammond, who warned the European Union that Britain would find other ways to remain competitive after Brexit if it did not strike a comprehensive trading deal with the bloc. But Hammond stressed that was not what the UK government ideally wanted. The governor of the Bank of Japan, Haruhiko Kuroda, gave his forecast for Japan's economy. He said it is likely to head toward a sustainable growth path as global trade and manufacturing activity pick up. Kuroda's optimistic comments on recovery prospects suggest that BOJ will maintain its upbeat economic and price forecast when its 9-member board conducts a quarterly review of projections on January 30th to 31st. The growth projections Kuroda offered are higher than the BOJ board's median forecast of 1.0% expansion this fiscal year and 1.3% the following year. It is rare for BOJ governor to offer specific growth projections that vary from the BOJ board's median forecast ahead of the quarterly forecast review. Looking at news from international arena, U.S. President Donald J. Trump attends 3 balls in Washington, D.C. as he celebrated his first day as Commander-in-Chief. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania danced to a rendition of Frank Sinatra's My Way at the Liberty Bowl and the Freedom Bowl before joining members of the armed forces at a third event. The newly sworn-in president, who has vowed to put America first, was joined on the dance floor by Vice President Mike Pence and his wife Karen Pence, as well as various family members. At the Freedom Bowl, Trump recalled his amazing journey and vowed to get it done, drawing huge round of applause. Melania Trump told service members she was honored to be First Lady at the Salute to Our Armed Service Bowl, saying, "We will fight, we will win, and we will make America great again," before the Trumps and Pences took to the dance floor with service members. 70-year-old Trump takes over a country divided after a savage election campaign. Hours after taking the oath of office, Trump, who repeatedly promised to repeal former President Barack Obama's signature health care law, signed his first executive order directing U.S. agencies to delay, waive or grant exemptions from any provisions of the Affordable Care Act deemed burdensome for states or individuals. President Donald Trump signed his first executive order in the Oval Office, directing agencies to ease the regulatory burdens associated with Obamacare as the U.S. Congress determines how to repeal and replace the health care law. Trump also signed the commissions for his Defense Secretary James Mattis and his Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly, who were confirmed by the Senate on Friday. White House spokesman Sean Spicer also told reporters that Trump's Chief of Staff Reince Priebus is sending a memo to agencies directing an immediate regulatory freeze. The U.S. Senate confirmed the first two members of President Donald Trump's cabinet on Friday, voting overwhelmingly to approve two retired four-star Marine generals as its Secretary of Defense and Homeland Security hours after Trump was sworn in as Commander-in-Chief. The Senate voted 98-1 to confirm James Mattis to lead the Pentagon and 88-11 to confirm John Kelly for Homeland Security, a sprawling department responsible for everything from domestic anti-terrorism to border security and disaster prevention. Later, Vice President Mike Pence swore both men into office. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says that the forthcoming Syrian peace talks in Astana should prioritize helping representatives of the Syrian government and rebels make direct contact. Lavrov made the remarks at a press conference after talks with the visiting Foreign Minister of Kazakhstan, Hayrat Abrahamjonov, in the Russian capital, Moscow. Lavrov said that representatives from armed opposition groups in Syria should be included in the peace talks, which are scheduled for Monday in Kazakhstan's capital, Astana. The Russian foreign minister emphasized that joint efforts from the international community are needed to fight against extremist groups in the face of current situation worldwide. Lavrov and Russia support the statement made by newly sworn-in U.S. President Donald Trump about combating against extremist groups and expressed his expectations for more effective international cooperation in tackling the threat of terrorism. The Russian and Turkey-mediated peace talks in Astana aim to promote the Syrian peace process on the basis of a ceasefire from all sides in Syria. Egypt presides over a 10th meeting with the United Nations and regional powers meeting on Libyan security. Representatives of 7 nations and United Nations Special Envoy to Libya Martin Kobler met in Cairo on Saturday to discuss means of restoring security to a nation crippled by political chaos after the uprising that toppled Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Foreign ministers attending expressed their refusal of any foreign military intervention in the country while adding support to the agreement signed in 2015 to form a unity government. The agreement brokered by the UN was forged between Libya's warring factions and led to the Government of National Accord (GNA). But the GNA has struggled to impose its authority in the capital, remaining half-formed and short of popular and logistical support. It has also failed to win endorsement from power brokers in the east. Libyan forces in December finally seized the coastal city of Sirte from IS control, backed by hundreds of US airstrikes, after a nearly 7-month battle in a major blow which left the militant group without any territory in Libya. Still, Libyan officials said hundreds of militants escaped before the battle or in its early stages, and local militant leaders have spoken of trying to regroup outside the city. An explosion in a busy vegetable market kills at least 21 people in Pakistan's remote northwestern tribal region, wounding around 40 more. Reports differ on the cause of the explosion. However, officials said they believed a homemade bomb had been planted in a pile of tomatoes and exploded as people gathered in the market in Parachinar, Kurram's main town, early on Saturday morning. Taliban militants have been active around Parachinar in the past, and the town has also suffered sectarian tension between Sunni and Shia Muslims. A statement from Pakistan's military said army helicopters had been dispatched to evacuate the wounded. At least 16 people have been killed and some 40 injured after a bus carrying Hungarian students burst into flames on a highway in northern Italy. Video released by Italy's fire service showed firefighters dozing the charred bus on the side of the highway near the city of Verona. Emergency services removed the remains of the badly damaged bus in the early morning of Saturday. The head of highway police in the city of Verona said some of the passengers were teenage students and others were teachers and parents. He told Sky TG24 television that the bus went off the road near a highway exit during the night. Turkey's parliament adopts constitutional changes that pave way for an executive presidency for Erdogan. Turkey adopted a constitutional bill extending President Tayyip Erdogan's powers on Saturday, with parliament approving the reforms which opponents see as a step towards an authoritarian state. In a secret ballot, 339 lawmakers voted in favor, 142 voted against, 5 cast empty ballots and 2 were invalid. President Erdogan is expected to approve the bill next week before putting the reforms to a referendum in the spring. He could rule the European Union candidate country until 2029 if the referendum passes. The reform enables the president to issue decrees, declare emergency rule, appoint ministers and top state officials, and dissolve parliament, powers that the two main opposition parties say strip away balances to Erdogan's power. Analysts say the new system will spark controversy between the president and the parliament. Erdogan assumed the presidency, a largely ceremonial position, in 2014 after over a decade as prime minister. Since then, pushing his powers to the limit, he has continued to dominate politics by way of his personal popularity. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola defends goalkeeper Claudio Bravo and blamed a lack of cutting edge for the team's 4-0 Premier League defeat at Everton last weekend. Guardiola said his team were in control at Goodison Park until profligacy in front of the goal gave the impetus to Everton, and City dropped to 5th in the table ahead of Saturday's Premier League home game against in-form Tottenham. The Spaniard said new signing Gabriel Jesus was ready to come into the squad, but warned that the Brazilian striker was not the only answer for a team who failed to score in 2 of their last 3 league games. Tottenham is second place on the back of 6-game winning run, beat West Bromwich Albion 4-0 last weekend, and Guardiola praised their brilliant style of play under manager Mauricio Pochettino. With that, that's it for now. Stay tuned for more updates of recent current affairs stories here on Television Maldives. Thank you for joining us. I wish you a pleasant evening. Good night.